Hello, so today we will be doing some more limits to infinity with a couple harder examples. So this first one is the limit as x approaches infinity of this function right here. But our next one will be the same one, but instead of taking the limit to infinity, we'll be taking it to negative infinity. Alright, so let's start out with this one right here. Okay, so whenever we take limits to infinity and we have this x cubed term, so we have this x cubed term, and we have, or like any any x term with a constant term as well, so this plus 1, so these plus 1s right here, these plus 1s are insignificant to compared to these x terms, only because the x is approaching infinity. Because infinity is much, much larger than 1, and this 1 won't really, these plus 1s are like minuscule compared to these 4x cubed and 2x cubed terms and square root of 16x to the 6th terms. Only because, this is just because we're taking the limit to infinity or also negative infinity. So first what we could do is okay, so limit as x approaches infinity. What we can do is we can discard or just get rid of these plus 1s because they're very insignificant. So this is going to be the same thing as limit of 4x cubed over 2x cubed plus 16 x to the 6th plus 1. Alright, so now, or not plus 1, my fault. So just 16x to the 6th. Okay. So this is the same thing as, so because we're taking the square root of 16x to the 6th and x is greater than 0, this is just going to stay positive. So it's going to be 4x cubed over 2x cubed plus 4x cubed. It's going to stay positive. Alright, so now we can simplify this even more, and it's going to be 4x cubed over 6x cubed, and obviously the limit as x approaches infinity. And this, we can now cancel out these x cubed terms, and this is going to be equal to 2/3. Alright, so if we were to graph this, so let's change. So if we were to graph this, then whatever so our end behavior as x approaches infinity, we're gonna get closer and closer to 2/3. So it might be from the, we'll just say it's coming from the top. We're not for sure if it's coming from the top or from the bottom, but we'll just say it's coming from the top. So it's going to get closer and closer to y equals 2/3. So we're going to have an asymptote at y equals 2/3 because of this limit. Alright, so now we'll go on to our next one. It's the same thing, but we're just taking the limit as x approaches negative infinity instead. So now we will just have one small change, but pretty much everything else will be the same because we can still discard the plus 1s because so if it was like plus 1 or plus any constant really, or any term that has a smaller degree than x cubed, so like any term that's like x squared or like 2x, any term that has a degree, so this is our degree, the 3 is the degree of the x cubed term, and the 2 is the degree of the x squared, and 1 is the degree of the x, and so on. So if we have a degree that is less than our highest degree, which is x cubed, we can just discard that. So now we can just discard this, or just get rid of this plus 1. Alright, so let's continue. So, and again, that's just because we're taking this limit to infinity, just because we're taking it to infinity. So this is going to be the same thing as the limit as x approaches negative infinity of 4x cubed over 2x cubed plus the square root of 16x to the 6th. But this time, because we're taking the square root of a term that is less than 0, because we have negative infinity, this is going to be negative infinity, we're going to actually make this a minus this time, because the square root of 16x to the 6th, square root of 16x to the 6th is actually plus or minus 4x cubed, right? But, so whenever x is going to be greater than 0, we're going to choose 4x cubed. But whenever x is less than 0, we're going to choose negative 4x cubed. Okay, so this time we're going to choose, because we know that x is tending towards negative infinity, or the limit is approaching negative infinity, we're going to make this negative, or minus. So this is going to be 4x cubed over 2x cubed minus 4x cubed. That's going to be 4x cubed over negative 2x cubed, and that's just going to be negative 2. Alright, so if we were to, I'll just do it on the next one. So if we were to graph this, then as x is approaching negative infinity, we can have an asymptote that, so as x is approaching negative infinity, our y value is going to approach negative 2. So we're not for sure if it's coming from above or from below, but for this question, that doesn't really matter. We just wanted to know that it's approaching negative 2. So if this is negative 2, we'll have an asymptote at y equals negative 2. So we'll just say it's coming from above. So as it's going towards negative infinity, we're going to get closer and closer to negative 2. So I hope that helped. Thank you for watching.